So let's start with the AI series. So if you are a developer, you have probably noticed something interesting happening over the last few months. AI coding tools are improvingly incredibly fast. Earlier, we are using AI mainly to generate a method, fix an error, or explain some code. But now, with the AI coding agent, we can give AI an entire task and it can understand the project, create multiple files, run, test, and find errors and even try to fix them. And that made me think about one important question. If AI can do so much of actual coding, what should we as a developer focus on learning now? That's exactly why I decided to make this video. I'm not going to tell you that AI will replace every developer, and I'm also not going to tell you that AI changes nothing. Instead, let's practically understand what is actually changing, what AI coding agents can do today, and which skill all the developers should focus on 2026. So let's get started. Think about how our development workflow has been changed. So coding changed faster than the job titles, right? So initially, whenever we faced a problem, what we did, we searched for Google, right? After that, Stack Overflow came, become almost a daily tool for all the developers. After that came tools like Copilot, which started suggesting code directly inside our IDE. Then ChatGPT started, and then again the workflow changed again. Instead of searching through multiple answers, we could simply describe the problem and ask AI. But now we are entering the next stage, and that is AI agent. And there is one fundamental difference. Previously, we are asking AI for answers, right? Now we are starting to give AI task to complete. So that is a much bigger change that simply having better autocomplete. So AI is no longer only suggest the code. Modern agents can inspect a repo, plan changes, edit files, run test, and iterate as well. So what's actual difference between AI assistants and AI coding agent? So imagine I'm using a traditional AI assist. I can ask, create a Spring Boot controller. AI generates a code, then I copy it, create the file, run the application, check the result, right? If something fails, what I'll do? I'll copy the error, ask the AI again. I'm still controlling almost every step. With an AI coding agent, the interaction can be completely different. I can simply say, add a product management to this application, add specific feature to this application. The agent can inspect the project, understand the existing architecture, decide which file needs to be changed, modify those files, run tests, and continue fixing the problem. So the shift is basically AI suggesting code to AI participating in the development work. So the mainly difference is AI assistant, it waits for your prompt, then suggest you some code snippet, then you have to apply the changes, then you need to run it and debug, right? But now with the new flow of AI coding agent, what changed? AI coding agent understand the task, it will plan across the file, edit and runs a tool, then text, we need to test it, we need to review it, and we need to fix it. So the cycle goes on and on, right? So what exactly the loop set behind? Let's understand what actually happened after we give an agent a task. So we can simply convert it into 5 stages. So the first one will be read. So the agent examines the repository, existing file, project context. The second one is plan. So it breaks the requirement into smaller development task. The third one is code. It creates new file and modify existing ones. Then fourth is test. It builds run test or other checks, and finally the fix. If something fails, the agent reads the error, changes the implementation, and tries again. So this creates a loop: read, plan, code, test, and fix. But there is something like extremely important at the bottom of his slide. So human review still says in the loop. So, because compiling successfully doesn't necessarily mean the software is correct, right? So let's take a real Java example. Suppose I already have a Spring Boot project. Normally, to create a REST API, I need to manually create entity, repository, service, controller, all the layers, right? But with an coding agent, what I can do, this is my prompt. What I can do, I'll give one simple prompt. Create a product REST API with all these details and the unit test cases. The agent, what it will do, it will understand the requirement, potentially create all these files. It will create entity, repo layer, service layer, then global exception handler, and the unit test cases as well. So this is where the agentic development become interesting. I'm not asking AI, how do I create Spring Boot controller? I'm giving an AI an engineering outcome. So now comes the important part. AI generated code can look absolutely correct. It can even compile, but it can still be wrong. So maybe the business requirement of, maybe it's misunderstood. It may be an edge cases and the agent didn't consider. So sometimes the code looks completely correct, but when we do the review, we need to check the solution is right or wrong. We need to review, means human reviews still needed, and it plays very important role while we do in AI coding as well. Okay, next, what we can do, so it will result you the faster delivery. Okay, so AI can give us a faster delivery, but we should never confuse faster generation with guaranteed correctness. The developer needs to review the intent, the architecture, the security, and the edge cases, and the overall correctness. So this is still necessary. So now we come to the question everybody is asking: will AI replace the software developer? So instead of answering yes and no, I think we should look at a different type of developers first. The first one is someone mainly doing predictable crowd and boilerplate implementation. So this type of work has a higher exposure to automation, right? So the next type of developer who is a framework user, so understanding the frameworks like Spring Boot and Angular. So AI won't necessarily eliminate that role, but the way that the developer works will change significantly. So then we have the third category, the system thinker, someone who understands the architecture, database, security, performance, debugging, and the business requirement. For this developer, AI can actually become a leverage. Instead of competing with AI, they're redirecting it. And that's why the developer skills are beginning to shift. Things like the boilerplate code and basic crowd syntax memorization, copy paste fixes are becoming less differentiating. So AI is already quite good at the task, okay? But look at the other side. What is happening? So we have a less differentiating because it has a boilerplate code, it has a basic crowd, then a syntax recall, copy paste fixes. So these things we can automate, right? But the other side, there is more differentiating, that system design is there, debugging is there, security, testing and review, the product adjustment. So these skills more important when AI can generate large amount of code. The future development won't necessarily be the person who can type the code the fastest. It will the person who can understand the problem, guide AI to the right solution, recognize when the generated solution is wrong. So that is the main agenda of the developer in future. So now here is something very important, especially for the beginners. So should you stop learning Java and simply learn the AI tools? No, it's a big no. What we can do, in fact, they could be one biggest mistake you could make. So start with the strong fundamental Java. Then learn the Spring tool, any of the framework. So this is I'm showing as a Java fundamental. So similarly, the flow will be different for the .NET one and all, right? So we need to understand the base programming language. Then we need to understand the related framework to that programming language. So then SQL will be there. Then the system design. Next, here comes the AI coding agent. Once you understand how real application work, add AI coding tool. Then learn how to work with the coding agent. And finally become very strong at testing and reviewing the AI generated code. So think about in a three layer. It's a kind of foundation. Then there is control testing and engineering judgment, and the leverage is AI tools and agent. So AI should sit on the top of your fundamental and not to replace them. So I hope I have answered the question that we should learn the AI tools. That's a leverage for us, but we should also learn the basic first. We should be very strong at our basics. And I should also change the way the developers use AI while learning. So don't spend all your time asking, explain hash map, explain dependency injection. These things are very useful, but AI can do much more better things. Use it build to real application like e-commerce backend, payment service, URL shortener, then AI chatbots, then microservice systems. So, like this, we can create, right? Then don't simply accept whatever AI creates. So, we can follow the cycle like we can build, we can break, we can debug, review, explain. So, AI generates something you don't understand. Stop there and understand it. That's how AI becomes a learning accelerator instead of a shortcut that weakens your fundamental. So we should not let AI to weaken our fundamental, but we can use it to accelerate our programming speed. So this brings us to what I think the developer workflow will be increasing look like. So first, I can say define, which is the developer defines the code requirement constraints like. Then the second will be delegate. The AI agent handles more the implementation, right? Then we need to verify the code. Which part is we need to check if it is the right solution for our design or our product. So that's a verify part. Then fourth, we have to decide. We the human, we the developer makes the important engineering decision. And finally, we need to see. We deploy the software, monitor how it performs. So developers may spend less time manually implementing repetitive code, more time deciding what correct software actually looks like. AI generate options, but developers still need the own outcome. So Um, and this is not something that might happen 10 years from now. It's already happening. Coding tools are moving beyond simple autocomplete towards agent capable of handling multiple multi-step software development tasks. So that creates an interesting solution, right? As AI generates more code, verification becomes more important. It's not become the less important, so it becomes more important. We can get the structured code, but still we need to review all the code. So 65% people already 2027 over means 65 engineering teams using the agentic code. So I myself having 9 years of experience, I started using agentic code in my daily to daily coding life. In 2026 also industry report describes as a software development shifting from writing code towards to orchestration agent. So yeah, as I told, I again and again I'm saying the same thing. Human review still it is much more important. Is the most important takeaway from this video. AI will not make engineering knowledge useless. It may actually make engineering judgment more valuable because when generating code becomes extremely cheap and fast, knowing what should be generated become the differentiator. So don't choose between the programming and the AI. We should learn the both. Build strong foundation in Java, Spring Boot and system design. Then put AI on the top of those scale. The winning combination is simply simple. We have to with the strong fundamental knowledge plus the AI leverage. In my next video, I'm going to put this to a test. I'll build a simple Spring Boot feature using an AI coding agent and show you what the AI gets right, where it makes a mistake, how much developer intervention is actually required. So, if you are a developer, you are preparing to become one, subscribe to this channel because the goal is no longer just learning how to code, it's learning how to become a developer in the AI era. So, thank you everyone for watching.